Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are immersing ourselves in a strategic blueprint that, honestly, aims to fundamentally rewire how entire nations educate their people.
And not just educate, but prepare their workforces
Yeah.
for, the fourth industrial revolution.
Exactly. We're talking about this dual engine strategy. It's a major initiative from EON AI Ventures and EON Reality. Our sources detail a pretty ambitious master plan that's already rolling out globally. We're seeing it in Africa, Asia, Europe, the Americas.
Right.
And this isn't just about some new tech, it's about solving what many see as the single biggest barrier to national growth.
Which is that catastrophic disconnect between the skills people actually have and the skills that modern industries are desperate for.
That's the core of it.
And that's what makes this so critical. This isn't just some future-gazing exercise. It's meant to be an operational solution to a very real crisis.
The 4IR readiness crisis.
Yes, nations are struggling to adapt to AI, to robotics, advanced manufacturing, the economic cost of having graduates who just aren't prepared for the jobs that exist. It's staggering.
So this dual engine framework is supposed to bridge that gap. And fast.
Almost immediately. That's the goal, to transform skills, jobs, and ultimately national income.
Okay, so our mission today is to pull this whole plan apart. We need to look at the physical and the digital infrastructure here.
Right.
We really need to understand how this National Spatial AI Center and the Intelligent Virtual Campus promise to shift entire nations from a model of, say, technological scarcity
Where only the elite get access.
to one of abundance with massive equitable impact. We're looking for the specific mechanics that make that kind of scale even possible. So let's start with the context, the challenge itself. To really get the scale of this solution, we have to understand just how badly the old educational model was failing.
Yeah.
What was the before and why was it so broken?
The contrast is pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
And it really, it illuminates why such a radical change is needed. Before this shift, you had three huge limitations.
Okay.
First, there was the problem of limited access.
Meaning what exactly?
Well, if you needed training on advanced systems, let's say maintaining a modern power turbine or operating some complex medical scanner, that required these multi-million-dollar physical simulators and labs.
Which were only in the big cities.
Exclusively. They were in one or two elite urban centers. If you lived in a rural area, if you were at a smaller regional university, you were just automatically shut out from that high-value training.
And the economic implication of that is just massive. You're basically capping your workforce potential based on geography, aren't you?
Precisely. So the Aftervision tries to fix this with what they call universal equity.
Through a hub-and-spoke network.
Exactly. The idea is to distribute the educational experience using the cloud. So a student in a remote village, maybe on a basic tablet or even a smartphone, gets the same high-fidelity AI-driven training as someone in the capital.
It removes geography as the barrier.
It takes it right out of the equation.
Okay, so that handles the hardware and the location problem, but there's also the quality of the instruction itself. Historically, that before model was so theory-based.
Completely. It was all passive learning.
Reading PDFs, listening to lectures, watching videos, it gives people knowledge, sure, but not competency.
And that's the second critical failure point, that massive skills gap created by just theoretical learning. So we're moving decisively to experiential learning.
Learning by doing.
Learning by doing. And spatial AI is the key. It's the tech that lets you interact with 3D environments as if you were physically there. You get that muscle memory for complex, high-stakes tasks.
So you're not just reading about how to repair an engine.
You are virtually performing the repair over and over until that skill becomes instinct.
Okay, so we have access and learning style. What's the third failure?
The third one is maybe the most strategically significant. It's digital dependence.
On foreign tech.
Totally. Nations were, and I mean many still are, completely reliant on foreign black box AI models, foreign cloud services, foreign languages even, dictating their digital learning content.
Which means they're giving away control of their data.
Their data and their future knowledge base. It raises huge geopolitical concerns over intellectual property and, cultural relevance.
I see.
So the goal here is sovereign AI, to establish a national AI lab that hosts local data, that trains models on indigenous languages, on specific local industrial needs, and culturally relevant content.
So the nation owns its digital infrastructure. It's a move from being a consumer to an owner.
That's it, from a renter of foreign tech to an owner of your own knowledge base.
That is a huge philosophical shift. It means the outcome moves beyond just closing the skills gap, which is the symptom to a direct link between skills and income for every single person.
Yes.
Okay, so how do they actually do it? This brings us to the mechanics. The dual engine system. Let's start with engine one, the Spatial AI Center.
Engine 1 is the physical anchor. It's the capacity builder. It's designed to overcome, all that bureaucratic inertia and skepticism.
You call it a national asset.
Right, because it's meant to be elevated beyond just a training facility. Its main job is to build understanding, capability, and this is critical, belief in the technology's power.
And I find that emphasis on belief really compelling. It's a recognition that if you want national leaders, ministries, big industries to actually champion this kind of reform, they can't just read about it in some report.
They have to see it, touch it, feel it.
Yeah.
There's a quote from Dan Lajerska that just sums it up perfectly. He says, "To solve the massive skills gap, software alone is not enough. We need a physical catalyst.
A physical
You need a high-visibility, impressive physical space where a policymaker can walk in and just instantly visualize the impact."
But hold on a second.
Go on.
We just spent the last few minutes talking about universal equity and how the old model failed because it was too focused on these expensive, centralized physical centers.
Right.
And now you're telling me the first engine is to build another expensive physical center. Isn't that a bit counterintuitive?
It sounds like it on the surface, I get that. But that's where the dual engine idea is so important. Engine 1 doesn't replace the digital scale. It justifies it.
Yeah.
It enables it. It functions as the IP hub and the validator.
How so?
Well, it has 3 specialized components you just can't replicate purely in the cloud. First, you have the showroom and the XR auditorium.
The showcase.
The showcase, exactly. It has all the advanced gear, the hologram walls, AR glasses, the high-end Meta VR, the new Apple Vision Pro headsets. This is not for mass training.
It's for converting the skeptics.
It's for building that political will.
Yeah.
When a minister of health sees an entire surgical procedure simulated in spatial AI right in front of them, that's when the belief needed to champion reform really happens.
Okay, so that handles the political buy-in. What about the human capital? The tech is useless without local experts who can teach it and maintain it.
And that's the second component, the National Training Academy. This part is essential for sustainability. It's a dedicated facility focused entirely on certifying thousands of master trainers.
So you create a local workforce to support the tech?
You create the human ecosystem. These are the local educators who get the culture, the language, and they're the ones who will fan out and staff all those regional spokes across the country.
Makes sense. And the third component?
The third is the real powerhouse of that sovereign AI vision. It's the development lab, which they call the Creation Factory.
The Creation Factory. Let's define that. Why does a lab need to be a national asset, and what are they creating?
They are creating national intellectual property, IP. This studio is equipped with specialized, high-performance hardware, like these NVIDIA RTX 4090 workstations.
So serious computational power.
Absolutely necessary, because the job isn't just running simulations. It's training foundational AI models on massive national data sets, proprietary industrial content, local dialects, cultural knowledge.
So this is where the local teams make sure the nation owns its own content.
Owns its content and its underlying AI brain. It moves the country from renting knowledge to truly owning it.
Okay, so Engine 1, the physical center, is about credibility, IP, and trainers. It's the depth, the catalyst. But you still have that massive logistical problem, getting this to hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of learners at the same time.
Right.
This is where Engine 2 comes in. And this is where it gets really interesting. The intelligent virtual campus.
Precisely. Engine 2 is the scaling solution. If Engine 1 creates the blueprint and the national content, Engine 2 delivers it without limits.
Overcoming all those physical and geographic barriers.
And time barriers. Think of it as the cloud-based nervous system that connects the entire nation, and it's running 24/7. Because it's a cloud platform, it gets you mass-scale adoption immediately.
And it extends the capabilities of that physical center to everyone's device.
To every student's device, everywhere. Doesn't matter if they're on a desktop, a VR headset, or just their basic smartphone.
So we've moved past passive e-learning. How does the virtual campus make sure the learning is truly active? That it leads to job-ready skills?
It's all based on what they call AI-driven knowledge transfer. So instead of reading a textbook, the student is just thrown into a hands-on simulated environment,
And the scale comes from a huge resource library.
a massive one. The platform has the world's largest library of 36 million 3D assets, over 9,000 certified courses, and maybe most critically, it provides access to 9,000 embedded AI mentors.
Hold on, 9,000 AI mentors. What are those? Personalized tutors? How does that work?
That's a good way to think of it. They provide personalized, immediate instruction and feedback
In real time.
in real time. Imagine a student is struggling with a complex valve replacement simulation. The AI mentor can see the precise point of failure, intervene with a custom micro lesson, and adapt the difficulty on the fly.
So it replaces the one teacher in a class of 30?
With unlimited, immediate, personalized attention for hundreds of thousands of learners at once.
And what about the teachers, the faculty? Keeping content up to date is a constant struggle for traditional schools.
And that's where the power of the Creation Factory, from Engine 1, feeds into Engine 2. Faculty can use the AI course engine in the virtual campus.
Okay.
So instead of spending months building a new immersive module on, say, 5G network maintenance, a professor can just input raw text, a white paper, a technical doc, and the AI generates a new interactive lesson or simulation in minutes.
Wow. So it dramatically shortens the time it takes to get critical job skills out to the public.
Dramatically.
Okay, so we've got the system. Engine 1 for strategic depth, belief, and the IP. Engine 2 for limitless reach and personalized active learning. This is what they call the 1 + 1 = 10 synergy.
Right. The idea that the whole is vastly greater than the sum of its parts.
And that synergy is really the core insight of the whole plan, isn't it?
It is. They recognize that if you only build the physical centers, you just recreate the old scarcity model. But if you only build a digital platform, you often lack the local credibility, the IP ownership, and the political buy-in you need for a massive national rollout.
So you need both.
You need both. Engine 1 provides the trust, the IP, the high-end training. Engine 2 provides the accessibility and the scale you need to solve a national skills crisis, basically overnight.
So let's bring this home for the listener. What does all this mean for the individual learner? The outcome isn't just a certificate. It's supposed to be a direct link to economic empowerment.
It's meant to close the loop completely, to address that skills-to-income gap. And the virtual campus does that by integrating specific economic tools right into the learning environment.
Okay, what are they?
The first is called the Career Compass.
Career compass.
As you acquire skills in those simulations, the compass aligns your competencies directly with real-time labor market demands. It doesn't just tell you what skills you have. It tells you which companies need them right now and what the going salary is.
So your effort is always targeted at an actual job opening.
Immediate and relevant, yes.
And there's a second tool, one more focused on economic independence.
That's the Wealth Weaver. This is designed to empower students to immediately monetize their new digital skills on the global marketplace.
So like freelancing or starting a small business.
Exactly. Think of it as a platform that helps you transition into digital entrepreneurship using your new spatial AI and technical knowledge, bypassing the traditional wait for a local job. It's designed to help you start generating income immediately.
Proving the value of the training instantly.
That's the idea.
So what does this all mean? This master plan is really an attempt to use a strategic duality, combining this robust sovereign national infrastructure in Engine 1 with the limitless cloud reach of Engine 2 to deliver concrete, measurable outcomes.
In skills, jobs, and income.
It's an aggressive, comprehensive answer to the bottlenecks of tech adoption and geography that have plagued national education for decades.
And that focus on sovereignty, the part that's driven by the Creation Factory, you just can't overstate that. That is the mechanism that shifts a nation from being a passive consumer of foreign technology to an active owner and creator of its own IP. That's true modernization.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. If the critical first step to all of this hinges on using that physical center Engine 1 to build belief in the technology among leaders, what other massive, intractable national challenges, maybe in fields like infrastructure maintenance or disaster response training, or even public health education, could be solved by coupling a physical, high-visibility catalyst for belief with massive, decentralized digital scale? Something to think about until next time.